when you realize nothing is lacking. The whole world belongs to you. Lao Tzu. There is a moment in spiritual awakening that almost no one names, yet nearly everyone meets. You do the deep work, face your shadows, open your heart, and feel the air in your chest grow lighter. But the mind still loops old stories, while your emotions echo older rooms. The contrast is disorienting, like stepping into sunlight while your eyes are still adjusting. You are not back at zero. You are not broken. You are standing in the quiet hinge between who you were and who you are becoming. It is a thin place where silence hums, and the soul asks for patience that looks like strength. Here is the promise of today's journey. You will understand why progress can feel stalled even after real healing, how awareness not effort unlocks the next phase, and what to do daily to embody the freedom you have already earned. You will learn a simple way to redirect attention, rewire patterns, and let the nervous system catch up to your soul. Stay with me, because the practice at the end is short, clear, and immediately usable. If this resonates already, like and subscribe, and drop a quick present in the comments to anchor your intention. Then stay to the end for the 1-minute embodiment ritual. Many seekers mistake this stillness for failure. It is not failure. It is the lag between energetic transformation and physical integration. The deeper self has moved. The daily self is still learning the new rhythm. Think of two versions of you walking the same road. The human self tracks time, feelings, and familiar patterns. The quantum self moves in a single quiet yes. The blueprint is complete. The building crews are setting beams, patient and ordinary. This is why awakening can feel like remembering. Your deepest center already knows the truth and agrees with it. Meanwhile, memory and habit still pull like tides on the shoreline of your thoughts. You feel peace and noise side by side and wonder which one is real. What you are meeting has a name. Languishing is not collapse, and it is not denial. It is the middle space where energy has shifted, but awareness keeps rehearsing yesterday. It is the echo, not the event. When people do not recognize languishing, they go hunting for wounds that are no longer there. They reopen what is already closed and call that diligence. Meanwhile, the soul waits for a simpler movement. Not more fixing, but fuller living. Not another excavation, but a warmer light in the house you already rebuilt. The mind is a pattern engine. It repeats what it can predict, even when the prediction is stale. Old scripts run because they are familiar, not because they are true. A thought may be loud and still be lying. Notice the lines that return at low tide. I am not ready. Something is still wrong. If it is not perfect, it is not real. These are habits, not prophecies. Habits soften when attention shifts. Energy follows awareness. Focus is a gate and a garden. If you pitch your tent where fear used to live, the ground will feel haunted. If you lift the tent and move it to where peace is rising, the morning begins to sing. Awareness is not a hammer. It is a lantern. It does not crush what it sees. It clarifies it. When the lantern turns toward wholeness, the room changes shape. Edges look kinder. Doors appear. Some traditions teach that repetition carves paths in the mind. Many observers notice how a steady thought becomes a steady feeling, then a steady behavior. Whether you speak about circuits or symbols, the point is simple. What you rehearsed, you realize. So your work in this phase is not to dig deeper tunnels. Your work is to change stages. Meet the healed self you already are. Not once in a vision, but again and again in small choices. Let the body learn a new baseline by being invited calmly and daily. You will still feel the tug to analyze and diagnose. The mind wants reasons. The heart wants relief. Give the mind a job that serves the heart. Let it notice, name, and redirect. Notice when the old sentence presses its face to the window. Name what it is without adding drama. Then redirect attention to the reality that is already blooming. Quietly, repeatedly, kindly. There is a 3-step bridge many discover in this in-between. First, honesty. Not a harsh exposing, but a clear gaze. Meet what still hurts without building a home there. When you look with compassion, pain's posture changes. Second, the work. Choose the practices you genuinely recognize as helpful. Breath that anchors you. Movement that returns you to your body. Writing that empties noise and reveals the thread beneath the thread. The goal is presence, not performance. Third, embodiment. Practice being the you who has already healed. Let your shoulders take that shape. Let your voice learn that tone. Imagine the nervous system unbraiding and breathing. This is not pretending, it is alignment training. In this, gentleness outruns force. You are teaching a loyal animal that the storm has passed. You do it with safety signals delivered daily. You do it with consistency more than intensity. Morning can be your ally, because thresholds are generous. Many traditions speak of thin hours when the world is quiet and the veil feels lighter. Use those minutes for the smallest turning. A single anchored breath can choose the day. Some researchers suggest the brain strengthens whatever it repeats. Many lineages suggest the soul answers to sincere attention. These bridges do not argue, they meet in practice. You do not need a perfect model to begin. You need a faithful rhythm. When you redirect attention, when you accept that progress is not a straight line, hope returns. When you stop treating yourself like a problem to be solved, tenderness enters, and with it, traction. You will still meet contrasts, and that is welcome. Dark and light will trade places on the floor. Noise and quiet will pass the baton. Drift and intent will circle the same island. Let the dance teach you balance, without asking for guarantees. When you breathe with what is true, your timing shifts. When you bless the small win, your posture opens. When you choose a kinder sentence, your future hears you and answers back. You are not forcing outcomes. You are feeding roots. So, let us refine awareness in simple scenes. You feel the familiar thought? I am still broken. Pause for one soft breath and answer. My energy is ahead, and my body is learning. This is not a denial of pain. It is a refusal to crown it king. You wake with heaviness that has no story. Place your hand on your heart and say, I choose the present over the replay. Then ask, what am I focusing on now? Choose again without ceremony. Small gates open to wide fields. If anxiety arrives in the afternoon like old weather, step outside the script. Feel your feet in your shoes. Count 5 steady exhales. Whisper, I am safe enough to practice. The wave will not own the shore. At night, when the mind wants to catalog every unfinished corner, offer it a shorter list. 3 sentences of truth. I showed up. I am learning alignment. My awareness guides my energy. Close the book on that page. When this becomes your way, you will notice quiet victories. The text that once spiked your pulse barely moves the needle. The silence that used to feel empty now feels kind. The room is the same and yet utterly different because you are different inside it. What changes the most is your relationship with pace. You stop asking for instant certainty at every layer. You grant the body time to catch up to the blessing. The soul does not hurry, and still everything quickens. This is how languishing dissolves. It does not shatter in a single thunderclap. It thins like fog under patient light. One morning you walk and realize the path is visible again, and you have already been moving for some time. So hear the anaphora of the heart. When you lift your attention, energy rises to meet it. When you honor small practices, large patterns loosen. When you choose your next sentence, your next life begins. This is the grammar of becoming, and here the gentle contrasts as guides. Let quiet answer what noise cannot. Let light touch what dark only defines. Let intent cradle what drift could never carry. The middle place becomes a monastery, not a prison. Identity clarifies here. You are not the problem you solve. You are the presence you bring. You are not a project. You are a person inhabiting a promise. You did not imagine your awakening. You are learning to wear it. Keep the promise close. You can live the freedom you already unlocked, not by forcing certainty, but by forming fidelity to awareness. Not by endless fixing, but by steady embodiment. The nervous system learns what you repeat with love. Return, again and again, to the simplest question. Where is my attention now? If it is lost in the old corridors, guide it gently home. If it is resting in peace, let it rest there longer than seems necessary. If Tao asks for a contract, offer it a practice instead. The practice is the contract. 1 minute of intention outperforms an hour of spinning. Your future recognizes that currency and multiplies it. Here is the 1-minute ritual you can try today. Sit or stand, with your spine as tall as comfort allows. Place one hand on your heart and one on your lower belly. Inhale slowly through the nose for a count that feels kind, and exhale slightly longer, sensing the space your breath creates. On the next 3 breaths, pair a sentence with the exhale. First, my energy has shifted. Second, my body is learning. Third, my awareness leads. Let each sentence land like a warm stone in clear water, and watch the ripples fade. Now allow your eyes to soften and choose one image that represents your healed self for today only. Not forever, just today. See one choice you will make from that place, as ordinary as how you speak, how you walk, or how you answer a message. Then decide to do it and feel the micro-commitment anchor. Close by whispering, I am present. Then carry that presence into the next thing you do. Not the next 10 things, just the next one. This is how you braid soul and schedule without tearing the weave. When you meet the afternoon, repeat 1 breath from the ritual and 1 sentence. When you meet the evening, name 1 moment you lived as your healed self today. That is how momentum stacks without pressure. That is how quiet becomes powerful. If tomorrow brings new weather, meet it with the same lantern. Awareness first, then energy, then action. This is the order that calms storms before they fully form. This is the way we walk home while already at home. Thank you for giving your attention to what is true and tender. If teased helped, I'm grateful you stayed until now. Tell me in the comments where you most notice languishing and which sentence you will practice tonight. Then subscribe and share this with one person who needs the middle place redefined. When you are ready for the next step, watch the Morning Alignment playlist to turn this into a daily rhythm that holds